On this week's show, we've got League of Legends highlights, a brand new game review, and a whole lot more. Welcome to an all-new episode of State Champs Esports. I'm your host, Candace, and we've got a lot to get to. So let's show some love to Lawrence Tech and Hungry Howie's for their continued support of our podcast, Gamers Unlimited, which is available now on all major platforms. They also help us with all of our high school tournaments that we host throughout the year. We're currently in the thick of our first spring competition of 2021. Many schools are currently on or recently returning from spring break, so several matches have been rescheduled. However, Troy High School has started strong by defeating the Linden Eagles. They also managed a victory over Dakota High School, who rebounded from their loss with a win over Northville's JV team. The returning champions Birmingham United from Seaholm High School pulled out a W against Linden, while Northville's varsity team took on and defeated their JV team.
Thanks, Candace. Joel here. We're talking about League of Legends, and this past week we were able to highlight over on our Twitch channel Dakota versus Seaholm. It was an amazing game, very, very close. GG's to both teams, and here are the highlights for them.
Hi, I'm Ethan Avery, and let's take a look at some League of Legends action from this week of our State Champs tournament where Seaholm took on Dakota. Here we go, 6 minutes in, and take a look at Malzahar here, canceling the Tristana rocket jump with his ultimate and picking up first blood for Seaholm. A few minutes later, down in bot lane, Tarek and Swain for Dakota able to catch out Seraphine, and Vayne will try to trade back kills, but she'll go down too, netting a double kill for the Swain. Couple more minutes, and this time we have a party bot lane, the volley TP coming in. Tarek gets the Cosmic Radiance off, but it wouldn't be enough, and Seaholm picks up 3, only losing their Seraphine in the process. Alright, third dragon fight. Volley able to stun Ornn out of his ultimate, but diving a Tarek with ult can be disastrous, and Dakota able to come away the victor in this fight. There's Swain able to dish out tons of damage with that gold he picked up early on. And this would start Dakota's comeback. They find a way to pick up dragon after dragon, claiming the Ocean Soul, and it was back and forth for 50 plus minutes, but in the end, Dakota able to find a way to get the win.
Now let's take a look at our second batch of match results. Seaholm bounced back from their loss to Dakota by taking their match against the varsity squad from Northville, who managed to turn the tables against Linden and pull out a W. Troy High continued their undefeated roll with a win over Northville's varsity team. Carmel High joined the action with a big win over Dakota, who also dropped a match to Northville. We are still registering teams for the second Spring League of Legends tournament, which will run from April 11th through the 24th, and our final spring tournament, which starts on April 25th. The new blockbuster Godzilla vs. Kong crushed all box office competition this week. Both movie monsters have a long history of video game tie-ins, so our producer Denver decided to take a look at some of the best ones.
The Legendary Entertainment and Warner Brothers Monsterverse has been building to an epic showdown between Godzilla and King Kong, where it's been promised that one will fall. While these two giants of the cinema have never faced off in a video game before, we still wanted to see who would come out on top of the gaming world. The first officially licensed title for either character belongs to 1982's King Kong for the Atari 2600, which was ironically a ripoff of the wildly successful 1981 Donkey Kong arcade game from Nintendo. who had been unsuccessfully sued by Universal Studios for copyright infringement. King Kong also inspired the incredibly successful Bally Midway arcade classic Rampage from 1986. Unlike Donkey Kong, you get to play as the giant beast who must destroy cities and fight off attacks. Besides Tiger Vision's original 1982 game, there have been only a handful of actual Kong titles. 2 tie-ins were produced by Konami in 1986 for the film King Kong Lives. Nintendo released a more action-packed version that allowed you to play as Kong, who is looking for the captive Lady Kong. A completely different role-playing version was made for the MSX2 computer. Interestingly, neither game was made available to North American audiences. The best and most recent game adaptation of Kong is based on the 2005 Peter Jackson film. The filmmaker worked closely with Ubisoft, and the likenesses and voices of the movie's cast are heavily featured in the game. At various points, you can play as both Kong and the human character Jack Driscoll. The plot follows the movie's premise of tracking down Kong and taking him to New York. It was a huge success upon release, selling over 4.5 million copies and getting almost unanimously positive reviews, especially for the Xbox 360 version. Sadly, the closest we'd get to another Kong game are a couple of VR experiences based on the recent movie Kong Skull Island. Godzilla first stomped onto game screens back in 1983 for the Commodore 64. In 1984, Bandai released Godzilla vs. 3 Major Monsters for the MSX computer system. And while crude by today's standards, the game is still surprisingly enjoyable to play. A few years later, the movie company Toho, which originally created the Godzilla character, self-published Monsters Fair, also for the MSX. It's not a great game, but one of the first that gives players the option to fight as different kaiju monsters. That same year, the movie monster game from Epix was unleashed on Apple and Commodore users. While the aesthetics are a lot of fun, the gameplay is slow-paced and gets old very quickly. Thanks to the Nintendo Entertainment System, fans were treated to the much more action-packed Godzilla Monster of Monsters in 1988, which took the ocean-loving creature to outer space. Several more games for various Nintendo consoles followed over the next few years. Unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend any of them, unless you're one of those obsessive completists. 1993 saw the very first Godzilla arcade game, developed and published by Band Presto. The game does manage to be incredibly fun despite the rather slow fighting style of the behemoth creatures. A year later, Toho produced what is basically a port of the arcade game for the Super Nintendo, although it was strangely never released in North America. In the late 90s, there was a resurgence of Godzilla games thanks to the new Sony movie. Most of them were highly forgettable, unfortunately, much like the movie itself. Sega produced Godzilla Generations and a much better sequel for the Dreamcast. They both suffered from the same slow-paced game mechanics of navigating massive, lumbering monsters around various cities. For my money, the most entertaining title in the entire Godzilla catalog is 2002's Domination for Game Boy Advance. While it's maybe too colorful and cartoonish for a franchise that started out with a black and white horror film, the anime makeover and exciting action had me hooked. The game signaled a shift to handheld and mobile gaming for the big scaly green guy for the next 2 decades. There have been some console releases, including Godzilla Save the Earth in 2004 for the Xbox and PlayStation 2, and Bandai's 2015 version for the PS3 and PS4, which however met with mediocre reviews. So where does all of this leave us in the showdown between Godzilla versus Kong? If you're basing your decision on quantity, Godzilla clearly wins the bigger is better battle, with dozens upon dozens of licensed titles. However, Kong was first to get a video game adaptation, so you have to give him points for that. It really then all comes down to who had the better game. As much as I love Godzilla Domination, it just can't hold a candle to the King Kong masterpiece from Peter Jackson and the team at Ubisoft. So while the new movie may give the edge to Godzilla and his atomic breath, I have to crown Kong as the king of the gaming world.
LTU will be participating in the GG Leagues Spring Finals for League of Legends again, and this time we're facing Davenport. If you recall, last year we faced Davenport in the finals and we won, so very exciting. The games were epic and amazing, and here are the highlights.
Getting attacked. Oh my goodness, oppressive as he ever is. Rakan trying to get something out of this. Oh, he gets slam dunked, and Yon gets the kill onto Rakan. They're still trying to fight this. It looks like Davenport is trying to back off. Gets put in the wall, and a double kill for Yon. Here is brute by Morgana right there. Oh, he's just going crazy right here. Double kill right now, but he is very low on health, and there's a 2v1 right now. 2v2.
Oh my! The pizza!
He's smurfing. He is smurfing, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, a triple kill. Both teams realizing that the Dragon Pit or drag is going to be up, so both teams making their way to. Oh my goodness! And I'm speaking, and just everything going wrong for Davenport right there. Graves getting the kill, but still not enough. Knock up by Shen right there, and Shen's just deleted from the picture by Lilia, and Volibear able to clean up the work on Jinx, and that might be game, or they're Ping and Baron right now. It's just rotating onto Volibear, but they're not able to do anything. And Yo literally comes out of nowhere, ults, and has to get away to safety, but Morgana ignites the Shen and gets the kill. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, big damage from the it's just a massacre. Holy moly, all the damage just came out of nowhere. Vayne doing big damage with the Kraken Slayer, and Yon able to just come back in, and it looks like LTU will take this game right here against Davenport. Volibear, though, trying to see if he can get anything. Polymorph from the Lulu. Wow, he's taking big damage, and oh my goodness, just like that, the Volibear has to run away, but can't. Oh, big. Not really, but Caston coming down, trying to do something. Maybe try to keep his bot lane alive, and another TP out from Orianna. Orianna getting a big ult right there, but nothing getting followed up right there. Who's going to get this? Orianna gets to Leona, and wow, everyone's coming by. Graves coming, and Shen coming from behind, trying to get something. Jinx is just slowed out of her mind, and she's going to get ignited to death right there. And stinkified pretty much. And who's going to get this kill? Twitch! The double kill from Twitch. Twitch is now 4-1-1, and
yeah, that's third drag
LT just going in.
To LTU.
A missed ult from Leona right there. Shen dodging literally everything, and Orianna ult takes out the Jinx right there. Big knock up from the Lulu ult. Big stun from Gnar, but Gnar's teammates not able to clean up anything.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well from behind. Their mindset is pretty good.
Ult's coming out from Leona, doesn't hit anyone, and Leona might just be taking all this damage. Oh my goodness, yeah, Leona back in, taunted, and wow, big Graves shot right there, and I mean, yeah, Twitch, do I need to say anything?
Yeah, not
Casson
good.
trying to clean up something here, but not able to do anything as Twitch is just rotating right there. Ignited, stunk.
Let's wrap things up with a look at one of the new recruits from the Lawrence Tech inaugural varsity esports team. If you're interested in joining the squad, then recruit yourself at l2athletics.com.
So I'm really excited to bring in Charles. He has a unique gameplay style where he plays with only the left Joy-Con, and I think that that's super cool and not like anybody else.
Looking forward to being able to be part of the team here. The Smash Brothers scene is kind of niche in of itself, and I'm all for helping it grow and get more people in. When I came to LTU at first, I started to go to more tournaments on my own, and even helped run the weekly Smash Brothers tournaments that we held here before COVID. For someone coming to LTU, I'd say use your time wisely while you're here, as it goes by quickly, and make sure you have a headstrong work ethic.
That is all the time we have for this week, but please make sure to join us again next time. For the entire State Champs Esports team, thanks for watching and happy gaming.